to another video upload from Aspie with Attitude. You're right now watching another Aspie Chef, which happens to be episode 337 that you're watching right now. To introduce myself, my name is David. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I have autism, I have some speech difficulty, a speech impairment and a speech impairment. I have Asperger's syndrome, and that's why I call myself an Aspie. And welcome to another Aspie Chef once again. In this YouTube videos, this is where I actually do cooking, and since it's the 11th of January 2024, at the time I was actually filming this and making this meal, I just wanted to show you something. So my favourite brand of recipe bases I've got here is a Birrenberg. So like, I've got one choice. I'm going to have lamb biryani, and however it is though, I bought all ingredients for the Miso maple pork. So this is what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. And I'm hoping this is going to taste like the picture that you're seeing as an introduction to what I'm about to show you and cook. This is all 100% Australian made, a classic Australian dish there. All the way from South Australia. Well dudes, since 1839, such a very long time. It's time to get started. As I begin there, well, definitely got a pork mince, the noodles, which is a staple. It's a udon noodles. This is a Japanese dish what I'm doing there. And I've brought some spring onions to garnish it. And definitely got red onions, and never forget the meat. And here's a pork mince for it. And it doesn't tell me to add the shiitake mushrooms, which I'm going to anyway. Well, definitely love my shiitake mushrooms. I had this for quite a while. It's an opportunity to get rid of them. And also just a beef stock. So I'll go on the powder. I have a tendency always forgetting to buy the packet liquid beef stock. Well, that will do it all. Time to get started then. I'm going to get started by chopping the onions. And I'm going to make 100 ml of beef stock. I've added in 100 ml worth of water before I add in one of the beef stock cubes. For this one, I only need half a beef stock cube. I use a knife to slice the beef stock in half. Basically I just crush it and let it all dissolve in there. I can always put in a whole cube if I want to strengthen the flavour on this one. I'll give it a good stir with a teaspoon, which is actually enough to give it a flavour. The reason why I only need half that beef stock cube is the whole entire cube makes 1 cup of hot water, which I don't really need. It only tells me I only need 100 ml worth of it, or 1/3 of a cup, I should say. Now, it's time to cook the meat. First off, I've decided to heat the pan by adding a dash of vegetable oil, which is actually perfect for frying. And I've added in the red onions first and give it a saute. And once the red onions are sauteed, which is meant to be for 30 seconds to cook the onions, before I decide to add in the meat. And now, this is the time to brown the pork mince. And I'm going to cook it till it's brown, and I've added some oil just to make sure it doesn't really stick onto the pan. And cooking till it's brown. And once the meat's browned, it's time to add in the recipe base. As I add the recipe base, I can always use the beef stock to wash out what remains of the recipe base to give a bit more flavour to my miso maple pork that you see me cook using the Beerenberg for a sweet savoury taste. And I'll let it simmer for 20 minutes with the lid on and stirring occasionally, and I've got other things to do in that 20-minute wait. And while I simmer the meal, I've decided to add in the shiitake mushrooms as a whole. That way I can actually take advantage of a moisture in there to pretty much kind of really soften it up. And while I'm actually cooking the miso maple pork, I've decided to chop some cucumbers and some carrots, and I've decided to eat it raw, and this is going to be like my side dish. In the final 10 minutes that I'm actually cooking the meal for tonight, I've decided to prepare the udon noodles. The udon noodles will spend about 5 minutes boiling just to soften up as a staple for my miso maple pork that you see me cook right now. Since my udon noodles has been cooked, and now I'm in time for my miso maple pork to be ready to be dished out. And after dishing out my miso maple pork on top of the udon noodles with the cucumber and the raw carrots as my side dish, I'm going to add a dash of key pie mayonnaise, and I've got a wasabi flavour through it to give the authentic Japanese taste. And that's how it's all done. And dinner has been served. Well dudes, finally finished cooking. Oh, just how awesome is this dish? And so I'm going to bring it closer one more time. I'm afraid it's getting a bit cold since, oh, the plate's underneath still a bit hot. Oh, this is absolutely awesome. A bit of pork, the meat that comes from the pig, one of my favourite meats out there, and time to taste it. Oh yeah, awesome, like very sweet and savoury. And one thing I can't forget is to put a bit of wine, since it's actually been an awesome challenge making this video. So that's 14.5% alcohol there. Pretty much the wine comes from Barossa Valley in South Australia, probably the same state where Beerenberg comes from. I mean, probably the same area, definitely the same state. So how do these mushrooms work out? Well, guess what dudes, definitely tastes like a real Japanese restaurant. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing here, please why not subscribe to Aspie Attitude. That's all I ever ask for in terms of support. And also, don't forget to ring the notification bell if you want to keep up to date with Aspie Attitude. And please, don't forget to like and share these video contents around. That way, we're showing more support for my channel. And don't forget to check the playlist underneath, just to see all my previous cookings that I've done. Something I've started out since, I think it was August 2018, I did the first one. Something I want to do more often are these Aspie Chef videos. And before my dinner gets cold, and peace and respect, and see you next time. And I hope you enjoyed my cooking video from Aspie Attitude. It's miso maple pork that I'm eating there. Alright, dudes, sorry about the stutter, just the meal's getting cold. And see you next time.